Swiss take on Cameroon in their opening game over in Qatar 2022. I've got a Swiss expert to talk all things cheese and football, and he's coming at you next. That's right, folks. Babbles again with another World Cup Rivals video today. We're bigging up Group G. It's Switzerland, it's Cameroon, and we'll get to it in a second, of course. Big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons. If you knew where you've been, your non-stop shop for World Cup content is here. Smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Let's get excited. The World Cup is rearing its lovely little head, of course. But Craig is with us, of course, Swiss expert. Tell my small community, well, YouTube community, a little bit about yourself, where you're calling from, and what makes you a Swiss expert.
My name's Craig King. I'm from Glasgow in Scotland, which is a bit strange in itself, just because you wouldn't expect someone from there with no prior connection to be involved in Swiss football in any aspect. But yeah, for the last 10 years or so, I've followed Swiss football, just a random thing that I decided to start. And then it's led to some cool opportunities along the way and things like this. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
Awesome, yeah, and I look forward to expertise as we dig a little deeper into the potential of this Swiss team. So speaking of the potential, of course, they take on Cameroon in an awkward game, I think, in Group G. What are your hopes for the Swiss heading into their opening match at Qatar 2022?
Well, I think, first of all, this match against Cameroon, without being too dismissive of them, is that we really need to win this game to try and get out of the group. But this, for me, is one of the most unpredictable groups in the entire tournament. I think it's going to be very difficult, and we could easily finish at the bottom if we don't turn up, but we can also finish second. I think Brazil are going to win this group, and then hopefully go further than that too. But yeah, this game against Cameroon, we need to win that, I would say, to have any chance. And I'm probably a bit naive on how good or not so good Cameroon might be, but yeah, this game really has to be one that we take 3 points in, because otherwise it's going to make it very, very difficult. You know yourself, these World Cups, you win the first game, you're already more or less on your way. So yeah, it would be hugely important.
Well, let's hope the Swiss do get off to a fantastic start. But of course, when you look at the group itself, or the group, Group G, you touched on Brazil, but how far, or what's the potential of this Swiss team? Do you have underlying reservations of just the knockout stages, or do you think you can go as far as maybe the quarterfinals or even the semi-finals?
I think semi-finals would be too far, but the other ones all apply. Like, we could struggle to survive in this group, or we could finish in second and then hopefully get to the quarterfinal, because if we do finish second, then I believe it's Portugal or Uruguay who you would expect to get out of their group. So that's kind of doable for us. Portugal's obviously very difficult as well, but we've beaten them before. But yeah, all those things are open for Switzerland. If they play to their best, they can achieve a last 16. If not, they might go out in the group. But I'm always confident in this team. I'm just always worried they won't do themselves justice at the end of the day, because they've got the talent, they've got the players and the experience, so they definitely can do it. But that's always my fear, they actually turn up.
It does feel like a golden generation right now for Switzerland. Of course, they did so fantastically well in Euros just over 12 months ago, or a little bit more than that. But and we were dazzled maybe by, a lot of English watching folks would remember Shaqiri, of course, from his days at Stoke and Liverpool, of course. But now I think he's playing his football in the MLS. Is the hopes of a nation still on his shoulders, or are there other players that we should be looking out for in Qatar 2022?
I do believe that he still carries a lot of the kind of expectation of the team creating things and being that kind of spark. But I don't think it's the same as it was, say, in 2014, 2016, when it really was kind of all on his shoulders. We've got a lot of different players now coming through. One thing on Shaqiri is that he's playing in MLS, as you said. They've not played for maybe a month or two, and he's been training with Lugano in Switzerland, and that's obviously not the same as being match fit and all that stuff, so that's a concern itself. But yeah, we've got those players, Granit Xhaka as well, Jan Sommer, he's also maybe an injury concern. We've got 4 goalkeepers, so that might be why. But yeah, we've got other players like Noah Okafor. He's actually been linked with Man City and Liverpool this morning that I've seen. He's got a very bright future. I think he'll have a fantastic tournament. he might not play every game, but he'll be definitely involved coming off the bench. So yeah, he's one to watch out for.
Excellent, yeah. I'm getting excited to take a look at this Swiss team once again. But if we switch focus to your opposition, maybe, and again, Cameroon football, maybe not in the focal point as much as it wants to be. But if there's anybody from that team that worries you heading into this match, do you know who it is?
Yeah, so only really from looking at the squad list, there was a couple of players that I recognised. You've got Jean-Pierre and Sammy, who plays for Young Boys in Switzerland. He's a fantastic striker. You've got Ngamelu, who also played for Young Boys. He's left now. He was good as well. You've also got Vincent Abubakar, who had a great Africa Cup of Nations, and he's a good goal scorer. I would say, attack-wise, they're very, very good. But midfield and defence, I would say they're maybe weaker. But again, I'm quite naive there. Maybe these players are good, and I just don't know yet. Hopefully, I don't get a shock. But yeah, I would say as long as we can keep them out, we might be okay.
All right. Well, let's pretend now you've been given the all important job, the money job of picking the team to start for Switzerland against Cameroon in their opening game. Who are you going for from goalkeeper all the way through to your forwards?
Well, assuming I tried to kind of pick a mix of what I would go for and what I expect the manager to go for, because he typically goes for the same sort of team. I think it would be, you'd have Sommer in goals, all being well. I don't know how his injury is. Sylvain Widmer right back. In defence, Elvedi and Akanji. Maybe Fabian Schär might come in there. He's played a lot before. He's important as well. So he's an option. Left back will almost certainly be Ricardo Rodriguez. And then you've got Xhaka, Freuler there in defensive midfield sort of positions. And then Okafor, Shaqiri and Xhaka. No, I've said Xhaka. I can't remember the other player there. I've got the list. 2 seconds. I'll find that for you. I knew I'd forget some of the players.
It's all right. You're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, Djibril Sow, who's also played quite a lot. Okafor and Shaqiri either side, and then Mbo up top by himself, I would expect. Seferovic is another player that could play there, but he's very off form for Galatasaray, and Dylan Mbo has been fantastic for Monaco, so I would expect him to kind of to lead the line there.
Yeah, of course, there are some familiar names in there for people that maybe watch the Premier League, of course. But, okay, so there is another game going on in Group G, Brazil against Serbia. What do you think's going to happen in that game? But with a Swiss hat on, what do you want to happen in that game?
I think the best thing, not just for Switzerland, but everyone else in the group and their own ambitions, is that Brazil just beat everyone. That's kind of because they're the kind of the big team, you would expect them to win this group. So, when other teams start to take points off them, that makes it all very, very complicated. So if they just beat everyone, then we can kind of focus on each other and see what happens. And of course, if we get something off of Brazil, that would be a bonus like we did in 2018, but I'm not necessarily sure that's going to happen this time around. So Brazil would hopefully beat Serbia, and then that sets us off to kind of have a good start and then put pressure on Serbia ahead of what could be a deciding game at the end.
Yeah, it does. When I did see this draw, of course, everyone's putting a finger on Brazil to win this group. But that, Serbia, Switzerland, both very good in Europe recently. And it's going to be a tough dogfight, I think, to the bitter end. But if we would go back, of course, to your game, Switzerland, Cameroon, if you had to pick a scoreline for this match, what would you go for?
I would go 2-0 Switzerland. A few reasons, but mainly because we're a lot harder to beat under Murat Yakin. We only conceded 2 goals in that World Cup qualifying group. We kept a clean sheet at home against Portugal. We only conceded 1 in a win away to Spain in the Nations League as well. And against Italy, we kept a clean sheet in the qualifying and a 1 each away from home. So we really have a kind of settled defence that's able to keep these teams out. I mentioned those attackers that Cameroon have, and they're obviously great players and they can hurt you in a minute. But if we can keep them out, then hopefully we can get the 1 or 2 goals required. That's also kind of maybe a worry for Switzerland, is that we don't have a lot of options in attack. I mentioned Seferovic before, who is not in form, and Mbo is only the one that's in form right now. So that's a concern. But if we can be difficult to beat, then of course 1-0, 2-0, we can achieve results like that, and as I said before, we definitely need to win this game, in my opinion, to have any chance.
Well, thanks again, Craig, for having us, having you on the show here. Appreciate that. And, of course, your insight into Swiss football. Of course, if you want to be like Craig, you can come on the phone-in show, the World Cup Daily, starting from November the 20th all the way through to the final. Each and every day we'll have a 30-minute, I think, segment here on YouTube where you can come on in via the Zoom, have a chat and talk all things a World Cup. Or you can give me your cooking recipes. I don't care. But again, check out the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. And while you're here, smash that subscribe, smash the thumbs up, smash the bell. We go again, guys. Non-stop World Cup content right here at Blackburn Overseas.